It actually uploaded like 10 seconds of the video. My
Okay,
quality is terrible, by the way. My video
interesting.
quality, absolutely horrendous.
Right, here we go. It's come up on my side now. Guys, if
Cool.
you can hear us, we're trying to figure out some lives. Let us know in the comments if you can see us. I don't know why anyone would actually, because I haven't sent the new link out yet.
Yeah, it looks like actually it's working, so I can see now. So let me just wave and see if that's the one. It looks like it is. Just that you have to change the thumbnail, but yeah.
Okay.
Not that it matters too much.
No. Right. I've sent that into our community. How are you, Simon?
Yeah, not too bad. Thank you. Cheers. Yeah, this is the right one. I'm just going to close it down there. Yeah, not too bad. Cheers, mate. Yeah. So apologies for my internet. My picture's not that great. For me, it looked absolutely amazing, 4K, but my internet's a bit slow. So apologies. But yeah, hopefully you guys can hear me okay. But yeah, I'm good. Thanks. Cheers. What about yourself?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you, mate. You were saying when we were on the other link that you're back in Dubai. Tell me about that.
I am. I'm in Dubai right now. So I'm out here for 3 months.
Nice.
Essentially what I did last year, trying to investigate if I want to move here or not. And yeah, last year I decided not to move here, and this year I'm still making a decision. So I've been out here for 10 days. I'm here for 3 months in total. So yeah.
What's causing the current indecision? What's the thing that's holding you back?
So don't get me wrong, I absolutely love Dubai. I love being here, but it's one of those ones. Do I see myself living here? That's the thing. Do I see myself taking that plunge and living here? That's the thing. I've not made a decision on yet. I just struggle to make decisions. So, there's pros and cons to everywhere you want to live, and with the UK, there's pros and cons. To Dubai, there's pros and cons. But I mean, I think the lifestyle out here does suit me, and I do enjoy being out here. It's just, whether I decide to actually move here or not. It's also ridiculously expensive. Just having a play with my.
You're like me. The problem is, I love the idea of Dubai, but I'm a pasty Irish boy. I don't know if I'll be able to live in the desert.
You'll be fine. There's lots of indoor places to go. But yeah, so right now, obviously January, it's nice during the day. It's a little bit chilly in the evenings, although we went through a bit of a cold spell. So much so that I bought myself a blanket and a heater, actually, because these places are not designed to be heated up. But actually, no, it's actually okay. So it's only a short period. But yeah, it's anyone who's I don't know if anyone in the audience has been to Dubai. What your guys' experience was with it. Have you been, Sean, or not?
I haven't been yet. Reese was there the other day, and he actually met up with Ben Alistair while he was there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And Reese kept telling himself, "This isn't a holiday. This is a lifestyle. This isn't a holiday. This is a lifestyle."
Yeah.
And I saw a really good podcast with Mike Thurston and Charlie Morgan the other day. Both of them have viral videos. Mike's on the pros of living in Dubai, and Charlie's on why he left, and they're both really good videos for interesting reasons.
Yeah, I've listened to the Charlie Morgan one about leaving and why he left. I'm not a big, don't really watch Mike Thurston. I'm not a fan of him. Just not really kind of my channel sort of thing. But maybe I'll give it a go because I know he lives down by the marina, I believe. I can't remember exactly where. But and then talking about who did you mention earlier? Ben Alistair. He lives out here now as well. I watch him on YouTube, and it seems a lot of people are moving out here. And you save money on taxes, but at the same time, that shouldn't be the reason to move out here, I don't think, because the lifestyle cost is ridiculously expensive. So anything you save on taxes, you're going to spend on lifestyle, whether it's rent. So, for example, I'm staying in Airbnb. It's about £3,000 a month, basically. So, expensive. Now, I don't have any bills and stuff included with that. But, and if you buy property is very expensive to buy, unless you go to not a great area. But then there's obviously the lifestyle is pretty cool. It's nice weather. Then sometimes it's horrendous weather.
The main draw, the main reason I would go to Dubai is just because you go there for a purpose, right? You go there to build a business, and that would be the only reason. My uncle was a very successful business guy. He still is a very successful business guy, and he and a lot of the family members on that side lived in Singapore. And from what I've heard, Singapore is just Dubai in Asia, not in the desert. So I was thinking, Singapore sounds much more my kind of thing, I think.
Yeah, so it's just a lot harder to get in, I think, to Singapore. So my younger brother recently came back from, he did Thailand, Singapore, and then Japan, and he really loved Singapore. He said it was amazing. Safe, clean, just overall amazing. But I think, yeah, I actually looked into some of the stuff, and I think you can definitely move out there, but it's maybe not quite as easy. I think the great thing about Dubai is that the problem is in the UK, especially now we've left the EU, although I voted Brexit, so I can't really complain about this. Throw your hate out there in the chat now if you want. Is that there's only so many places you can go that are easy to get into. Like my top destination would be Australia. But the only way to go there is either to get a job there, which I'm not going to do. I'm not getting a job ever again unless I'm forced to. Marry someone out there, and then there are business routes, but you have to invest a ridiculous amount of money. Obviously, Singapore is an option. Dubai is an option. I mean, Dubai is just so easy to move out here. Like for 10 grand, basically, you can set up a company. You're good to go. Basically, you're a resident. As long as you can pay for yourself to live out here, you're good to go. So it's so easy. And that's the problem. It's a limited pool of places.
Yeah, I watch a lot of James Smith, and he's obviously, to anyone who knows him in this chat, he set up shop in Australia. But I'm pretty sure he married an Australian. And I was looking into like the benefits of living in Australia other than the very relaxed, nice lifestyle. It just looks like such a chill place. Super far away though. Super far away.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I guess everywhere has its pros and cons. Australia. I mean, you're not going to say taxes. It's purely down to lifestyle. That's why you want to go there, basically, for the sunshine and lifestyle. And I'd say it's a little bit like the UK, and it's somewhat lifestyle and obviously people, ish. But it's just nice weather. But they actually are having the same kind of problems as the West, I suppose. there's lack of jobs and increased cost of living and things like that. So, but you get nice weather, which for some people is enough. And I would definitely move to Australia myself. I'm not moving for taxes. Honestly, it's in my mind, but it's not my main factor for moving. Basically, it's not even my top 5, basically. But if part of me thought, well, maybe I just go to Dubai for 3 months every year. But then if I'm doing that, I may as well just stay an extra 3 months and just get the tax benefits, if that makes sense. Yeah. So, the big killer is obviously how much time you can actually spend in the UK if you become a tax resident elsewhere, and that limits you to 3 months in the UK. Apologies if we're boring people talking about all this stuff, but yeah, so it's all. If you guys start Amazon and build up an Amazon business, you maybe have the same problem as I've got now, thinking about, because the great thing is you get the freedom to choose all this stuff and where you want to live, and taxes might be a reason to move, or lifestyle and stuff, and you have the opportunity to do all this and make these decisions if you have your own business, basically. That's not like tied into the UK.
Like for sure.
So.
So we got shout Alex. Hey there, guys. Welcome to the live call, everyone. Sorry, I didn't say that in the beginning. Snappy Fish, evening all.
Snappy's not nice.
Yeah, evening boys. Shout Alex. Huge respect to FBAMogul. Met him at a SAS meeting a few months ago. Awesome guy.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thanks very much. Thanks everyone for coming on. I appreciate it.
Alex has been in a lot of our TikTok lives, and he's new into our community. I love him. He's amazing. He's a great guy.
Awesome. That's cool. So
really cool photography as well, Alex. I love your photography work.
Nice. That's awesome.
Nadeem Hale, welcome. Snappy Fish. Haha, the Irish weather. Yeah, mate. I love Ireland, but Ireland's the wrong problem. Ireland's got crazy expensive cost of living, but the weather suits my skin.
Yeah.
Built a graft evening. Nadeem, have you moved your business to Dubai? I think you covered that just now, didn't you? Haven't moved fully yet.
No, and if I did, I would still actually run the business in the UK. Now, in theory, you could move your business to Dubai with Amazon, but Amazon being Amazon, I think that would just cause so many problems. Yeah. I wouldn't do it. So from a tax point of view, the way it would work would be that the company would stay in the UK. I would probably pay corporation tax on any profits the company made, but then I would then pay myself dividends, which would then be tax-free, basically. So you wouldn't avoid all tax. You still have to pay 20% or whatever it is for corporation tax. But then your personal tax will be tax-free, or whatever it is, out here. So, but no, I would keep it in the UK, 100%. It would not move it, because it'd be a nightmare. It would be a nightmare, I think.
It's challenging as a business owner in the UK. Like Mogul and I were saying last time we had a chat, we didn't want it to get too political, even though it did a little bit. But when you own when you own a business in the UK, it's hard to not pay attention to politics, because everything's so expensive here in terms of how much you get taxed in comparison to other countries. And I really hope they start to see that in order for the country to do well, businesses need to be able to thrive, and it's so hard to do that when you've got boots on your neck.
Yeah, and again, I don't have a problem with paying tax as long as you feel like you're getting something for your taxes. And again, I don't want to moan about taxes because I do well enough as it is and stuff like that. But it's just more about what you actually get for it. And what doesn't seem, and again, I don't want to get too political, is, but you see a lot of businesses like pub chains shutting down now because they've raised taxes. And again, I don't want to get too political, but if you raise taxes too much, you end up getting no taxes because things just shut down or people don't start businesses. It's just stupid. Whereas if you lower, like Dubai is a great example, you have low taxes, businesses and people with money flock here. And where do you make your money? You can make your money on the VAT and things like that. That's where, because everyone's very spendy out here. Give people lots of money, they just spend it. So just put the money on VAT,
Yeah,
but
everyone in the UK for a long time has been saving every penny, and it's because of our situation. In Dubai, everyone splurges like crazy.
Well, that's why you see Lamborghinis everywhere, Rolls Royces, Bentleys. It's non-stop, basically. Expensive. There are stores that do not survive in the UK that are out here. I'm trying to think of some examples. Like Virgin Megastore is like the main in the UK. I'm pretty sure that's done now, and there might be a few floating around. In Dubai, that is the main place to buy tech. They're like massive stores, tech everywhere in there, from Lego to Funko Pops to gaming PCs, switches, all that kind of stuff. I'm trying to think. There's a few other stores that have like died off in the UK, but they're still thriving out here because obviously people spend enough money. It's just a shame. That's the problem, I think, really. I don't want to talk too much about it.
Just like last time, we talk because we're frustrated because we care and we want to see our country do well. I'm fiercely patriotic about the UK. I love the UK. I'm not nationalistic. I hold the UK to a high standard because I expect us to be a fully high standard country. And unfortunately, we're not living up to our previous history, but I really hope we're going to go in the right direction. But again, reason this is such a hot topic for us is we're looking to move prep centers, and business rates in the UK is just ridiculous. It's so expensive.
Yeah, it's just everything. And then if you move to a bigger premises, you're gonna need more heating, more electricity. Let's say business rates go up. It's just, and the costs just go through the roof. And it's like, who can actually afford this?
My Brazilian jiu-jitsu professor told me when the energy crisis, the crisis inverted commas, when that kicked in, it drove his electricity prices up to 90,000 a year. 90K for a jiu-jitsu club. What the hell?
That's because there's no cap on business. Electric and gas is there, so or at least electric anyway. That's the problem there, and it's rip off Britain, unfortunately. But the problem is, in Britain, people are running out of money, and I genuinely don't know how a lot of people survive in the UK. And again, I actually was speaking to someone earlier, we're talking about this a little bit, and I was just saying it's tough for everyone in the UK. But this is why I'm a big advocate of just bettering yourself, whether it's through business or trying to get promotion at work or something. Unfortunately, saying that there are handouts in the UK now, that's a whole nother discussion, to be fair. I was going to say there's no handouts and stuff in the UK, but unfortunately there is. That's now a viable option, actually. But what I was going to say is that if you want to better yourself, you've got to grab the ball by the horns and, they say, work hard and get a promotion at work, or or start a business or something. Can really, it's down to you basically to do that and improve yourself. And
the single greatest asset I have in my life was the realization that personal accountability is everything. As soon as I started working hard and looking after myself, my life changed. Not expecting anyone else to come and rescue me. Honestly, anyone in here who's listening to this, if I can tell you anything in my life, that if I can pass anything off to you, it's that take your destiny into your own hands. But it's cliche.
That's pretty much exactly what I said. Actually, said the exact same line. For me personally, quitting my job was the best thing I ever did. I should have done it years before. Doing my own business has been so good. Basically, not that it's not tough, and at times, it is hard, but it's the best thing I've ever done. Basically, from a personal reward point of view, but also monetary as well. And the money
hard for yourself is way easier than hard for someone else, though.
Yeah, that's true. Exactly, it is. Yeah. So, and it's accountability, isn't it? So, sometimes I don't put the work in. I feel terrible. Sometimes I chill out and stuff, then I feel so bad because I'm like, oh, I'm letting myself down here. I've got this amazing opportunity out there, and I need to really work hard. But at the same time, it's finding that balance of like work and chill as well. But yeah.
Well, you and I are working right now, but for me, it's just like having a chat with
Yeah.
a mate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, technically this is work, but yeah, that's the great thing as well. These are just good fun. For me, it's 10:30 at night, but I've been trying to get onto the sleeping pattern of the UK. So I'm a night owl, but weirdly enough, when I came to Dubai, I was like waking up really early, like 6 a.m. in the morning, which is great. I love that. I love waking up early and I feel productive. The problem is that doesn't align with UK time. It's 2 in the morning, which means, again, I've not done a live. This is the first live I've done since Dubai because I've been going to bed basically because 8 p.m., which is my normal time, is midnight. So,
Right.
it's really tough. So yeah, I'm either gonna have to bring it earlier, like 6 o'clock, or I'm gonna have to just stick to shifting my sleeping pattern basically. But it's tough. But yeah, moaning about being in Dubai. So
So we had a question. Where was it? So
yeah.
Samurai said, surely at this point you pay yourself a salary pre-corp tax.
So yes, you can pay. So actually, I actually doing my tax returns here. I've not actually paid myself really, and I've done something a bit naughty. And what I've done is well, it's not naughty, but I gave a director's loan to my company, and I've been paying that back. And what I've been doing is just I may have paid back a bit more than I actually put in, so I've had to now put that back in basically. So for my 24-25, my tax return is going to be basically zero, but my next year after that, I'm going to have to start paying myself. And yes, salary is pre-corporation tax. Dividends is post-corporation tax, basically. So whichever way you want to do it. So unfortunately, you can't pay dividends before corporation tax. That'd be great.
Corp tax is 25%, isn't it? I think you said 20% just now.
It depends. It's different tiers now. Maybe it's gone up. Let's have a look.
25% for companies with profit over 250k.
Okay, there you go. So yeah, so you got to do that mix of salary dividends basically. But yeah, 25%. Yeah. So
I saw an accountant's Instagram reel the other day, which obviously I'm not an accountant, not financial advice. This is just what I heard from an accountant on Instagram. But he was saying if you pay yourself the 12.5k a year salary before tax, then do dividends up to 55k. I think you only pay something like 3.5k tax on that. So
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, it's the corporation tax is 25,000 on over 250,000, isn't it? So you can pay yourself up to. So I mean, yeah, technically it's 25, but yeah. So but only if you pay anything over 250, basically is 25%. So yeah, there are ways to do it. Basically, honestly, I'm not very smart with that kind of thing. I'm just trying to keep the money in the business, and I did the lazy thing of just basically doing the repaying of director's loan and then just overpaid. But what I've done is I just whacked it all back in. Basically, I was literally doing the math yesterday, going through all my ins and outs of directors' loans and stuff. And technically, what I've done is not allowed, but there's no tax implications for it. There is a penalty that the limited company would have to pay. Again, I'm not an accountant, but I'm just going off ChatGPT said. But it's more of a cash flow thing than anything else, so it should be fine. So as long as you pay it back within 9 months and 1 day, you're good. So
I took some money out for the first time in 2.5 years the other day, and it wasn't a lot of money, but I felt like a rich man,
yeah.
Just because I'm so dedicated to building my businesses, I don't care about a salary. I'm reinvesting every penny, and I plan to just survive until it's very worth it. But yeah, took a bit of cash out the other day, and it was cool to see it. But as I say, I've got a mission, and the business is the mission.
Yeah, and with Amazon, cash is everything basically. Capital and stock. That's all that matters. So the more you've got, the more you can make, basically. I'm not saying I've been the most tax efficient. I probably haven't. I probably would have been more sensible to pay myself some money and then put it back straight into the business. But it is what it is, I'll just
pay yourself a salary or a dividend, and then directors loan it back into the business.
Exactly. Yeah, pay that minimum amount of tax, like you say, up to like 50k or whatever it is. Through that mixture of, and then just put it straight back in. basically. You then got that. Obviously, director's loans, you can just pretty much take back. Again, I'm not an accountant. Whenever you want, and it's obviously tax-free because it's just a loan you give in the company. In fact, I think you can even charge the company interest if you really wanted.
You can charge the company interest, yeah.
So, but then technically that'd be income for you.
Yeah.
So.
Shall Alex, look at all the sellers from the UK who sold in the US and got ruined by taxes. Yeah, so we get asked quite often how to set up selling in the US from the UK. And we actually, in our Discord community, we have a partnership with First Base, who set you up a US LLC in Delaware, which is a tax-free state. But I was talking to my accountant about it. You got to be real careful. You got to be real careful because it's very complicated when you've got two tax jurisdictions and both of them want to take taxes off you. You've got to be really careful.
Yeah, that's not something, I know there's a huge opportunity for that, don't get me wrong, but it's not something I know too much about. I know Delaware and Wyoming, I think, are the two places that I can't remember the best places for doing corporations. And there are companies out there. There's one that actually reached out to me, I can't remember the code now, that wanted to do the whole setup thing. But yeah, you've got to make sure that there's like, essentially the US LLC becomes like a throughput, I think, is my understanding. That's the, again, it gets really complicated.
The one I saw was again not financial advice. This is just what I heard online. So do your research. I don't know if it's true. This wouldn't work for Amazon FBA, but the one I saw was business in Dubai, tax residency in Delaware, but payment processing in Singapore. That was that was the setup I saw.
Yeah, there's a few people who do come to Dubai, and actually they use the US LLC, and that's essentially the entity that they trade under, I suppose. A big problem with Dubai, I've heard, is that Stripe doesn't like Dubai. So if you take Stripe payments, then you can't really use Dubai, which is why US LLC is better. Again, it gets really complicated. You basically have to pay someone to do this who knows what they're doing and make sure they actually do know what they're doing. Because if you get screwed, you don't want to be messing with HMRC, IRS, or anyone. I don't know what the Dubai one's called, basically.
I'll tell you what, HMRC in the UK are gangsters. I would be real scared if I got in tax trouble in Dubai. I would be really scared.
Yeah. So exactly. Well, you kind of, in the way it should be, you should fear the tax people, I suppose. Like, people fear the IRS. People don't fear HMRC, but I think they will eventually because they seem to be clamping down a lot on things now. Which fair enough, I suppose.
Snappy fish. Love the UK. It's just going in the wrong direction. Mate, no one would disagree with you, I don't think.
Exactly. It's 100%. I love it. Okay, I don't like the weather. Okay. But I pretty much like most of I like the UK. The biggest issues for me right now are not good for business. Crime seems to keep going up as well, which I don't really like. And I don't know. It's just it's just not going in the right direction, like you say, basically. And it doesn't seem to be getting better. We're on a real dangerous trajectory right now. And it's quite scary, actually.
So my partner's Venezuelan, and we fund her little sister to live in the UK and go to university here. Turned out to be way more expensive than we were told, and like really positive spin on UK weather. But she is from Isla Margarita in Venezuela, which is like 40 degrees plus high heat all the time, and she loves British weather. She loves it cold. She loves it raining, and it's so refreshing to see someone positive about it.
It's because it's a novelty, that's why. But I guess if you do live in the heat, that is unbearable. Like 40 degrees is tough, then it does make sense, yeah. So, to be honest with you, you can't beat a British summer, as far as I'm concerned. If you get a nice British summer, that is unbeatable. Because you get the greenery of the UK, you get the nice sun without it being too hot. And yeah, you can't beat a British summer. And driving around with the windows down and stuff, I love that. But yeah, it just sucks in winter a little bit. But honestly, you can put up with the weather. That's not the main issue really, although maybe a little bit. But it's just like I say, it's just
I used to date a girl from Indonesia, and I had a huge friendship group of people from different Asian countries, and they would always leave England in summer to go back home. And I was like, "You are leaving when it's good. You need to stay.
Yeah.
It's so good."
Yeah, so I mean, I thought about doing that. Just maybe going to Dubai for 3 months a year in the winter, and then coming back and enjoying the summer. And I don't know, but the problem is it's expensive to do that. I mean, can afford it, I suppose, but it's just I don't know. It's a difficult one, really.
It is very expensive. Sam Wright said it's 19% pre 250k. Yeah, absolutely. Which if you get to the point where you're 250k profit in, you're doing very well.
Exactly.
We haven't actually had any Amazon FBA questions. We're quite far in, and we've been talking a lot about.
Yeah, so if anyone's got any Amazon questions, throw them out there, basically. So I mean, yeah, it's all good. I'm happy to answer. It's pretty much one of my favorite topics to talk about Amazon and business. If you couldn't tell,
yeah.
Sometimes we just shut me up.
Otherwise, why would we do it every day, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
how is your Amazon stuff at the moment? Are you still going?
Not that great, actually, because I've been basically what happened is I pushed really hard for Christmas, and honestly, since then, I deliberately took a break over Christmas. I needed time off. I was feeling a lot of pressure and stuff because I've got a lot going on, just not to Amazon, other things as well. And I've honestly struggled to get back into the swing of things since then. So I really do need to get back there because this month I'm only on like 7,000 profit. I say only, but for me, I like to at least hit the 10,000 mark. You know, and given the amount of stock I've got in Amazon, it's not great, but I just need to focus back on it. But you know what? It's still making money, and I barely even looked at it, to be honest with you. So yeah, but I've got big ambitions this year for pushing it. But my main priority has been doing the mentoring side, which I do, and that's been the main thing, really. I need to get back on social media as well. You know,
we've been the same. We've been really busy with the mentoring, the recruitment side of stuff for us has been really good. Like that's been popping off. The prep center, we're having to grow to a much bigger unit faster than we expected because that's gone really well. And again, like they're just shocked by the business rates. Samurai just dropped the question. What are the main sourcing methods? What are your main sourcing methods? So I'm guessing that was to you because he sent that while you were talking.
No, absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, for me, I'd say Amazon's a big one. That's the easy, low hanging fruit. Just sits in the background. You do need to be on your computer or have your phone set up to do it, but that's just an easy one. The problem with that is you are not in control whatsoever of when those things happen. Sometimes it's really good and you get drops all the time. And other times it's dry and there's nothing going on, basically. So that's what I do. And then the other thing I do is pretty much source sales. So you can go to Hot UK Deals. There's other places you can go to try and find sales. Newsletters is another way to do it. And then again, I'm not done much sourcing actually this year anyway, but Cogita is the other one I use as well. So I spent a fortune on Cogita in October, November, even December, because it was Christmas, perfumes, aftershaves, and what the Cogita sell? Perfume aftershaves. So I got like half pallets of Paco Rabanne, all that kind of stuff, basically. So it sold really well. Did really well actually. So
we released a podcast with the CEO of Eni yesterday. We released it.
Yeah.
And so talking to him, it was really interesting because I think Eni and I think Cogita are doing everything they possibly can to be compliant based on Amazon's own compliance policies. And I think they have data showing that for the majority of people, it goes well. But because obviously we run Amazon FBA communities, we get told a lot of the time, like, hey, I know 5 people who had their accounts deactivated because Amazon didn't accept the invoices. But the problem is that like Eni and Cogita and everyone of those companies, they're doing everything right. It's just Amazon are tricky sometimes, and you can get your accounts back. You know, we have an account recovery guy, or you can go the mediation route. But the problem is it takes so long. I just wish Amazon would catch up to these new companies. Very clearly, they're very clearly getting from authentic suppliers.
Yeah, the problem is Amazon kind of don't almost follow their own policies. Like they say, provide an invoice.
Yeah.
It's like, for example, I had one where I sent in a bunch of stuff and one or two of them got lost, and I sent the invoice and they said to me, oh, you haven't provided an invoice. I'm like, literally, this thing is it's computer components. It's an invoice, and not only is it an invoice, it's got the actual serial numbers of every single freaking one that was sent in. And again, I've tried twice now. They keep saying you haven't provided the quantity, the item description, or valid invoice. I'm like, it doesn't get better than what I've given you, basically. That's not reading it. And it's across the
What I don't understand is, like we were talking about this last time, you know, allegedly Amazon tried to automate this with AI and it's been bad. Apparently they're aware of that and they're trying to fix it. What I don't understand is ages and ages ago, you could send a screenshot into ChatGPT and it could very quickly analyze exactly what's happening on the invoice or the image. So why is Amazon one of the biggest tech companies in the world and their AI is so bad? I don't understand.
I don't know if it is AI. I think it's the VAs. I genuinely think that they use VAs. I think that's what it is. I don't know. To be fair, I just don't know. That's the problem. And this is a big issue as well. And I've tried to make inroads into Amazon unsuccessfully.
Same.
He's trying to understand and get some understanding of how it all works, just so we can, because again, we're both, I guess, community leaders and stuff and trying to help people on Amazon. And we get people come to us and say, why is it? And I'm like, I literally have to say to them, there's no logic behind what happens in Amazon. It's completely illogical. And it's a bit of a shit show, basically. They are a company where, on one hand, they have the best customer service in the world. If you're a customer, they're fantastic. Love them. If you're a seller, it's the worst customer service in the world. It's like complete opposites. And being a seller on there is, and this is why I say to a teacher the mentorship and taste anyone, you need to do everything above board basically on Amazon. You've got to have your invoices in place. You've got to have all this stuff because you've got to have that ready to go. And yes, Amazon might kick back on you a few times, but you've always got that mediation route as well, which you need to go through if you have to. But you need to have all your ducks in a row. Now, a question about Eni, do they provide marketplace invoices? Because I've heard they don't do that. But do you
Yes.
know?
So Eni have a different distribution approach. So Quigita, you could argue Quigita is kind of like a dropshipper, but I wouldn't classify them as a traditional dropshipper because they get you prices that you can't get unless you have huge capital.
Yeah.
Whereas Eni, they will actually get the stock from the supplier to their own distribution, and then they will send you the stock, and they are the supplier. So they give you the invoice, and the invoice is compliant with Amazon. And Mindergas, while I was talking to him, the CEO, very switched on guy, he was saying to him it doesn't really make any sense when people complain because his invoice is the correct invoice. They verified that they're getting from authentic suppliers with Amazon. They're verified with Amazon, but people still have issues. So I was reluctant to tell people in the podcast episode to say, I've looked, some people I've been testing it with in our community and our mentorship have found really good leads, but I can't tell you, go for it because there is a bit of risk. And that's because Amazon's enforcement of its own compliance is completely arbitrary.
Yeah, it's difficult. So again, the problem is, as you know, they like to ask for like supply chain. And obviously,
that's what I said in the podcast. Yeah.
So the fact that they're getting it and doing it themselves is almost irrelevant because you almost need that next level. You need that supply chain because it's the same with Quigita. Essentially, Quigita just insert themselves into some transaction. They never see the product, but they give you an invoice. Then obviously, when that's not good enough, which it never is, you can then go back further down the chain, which is why you should always buy with marketplace invoices. And then you got that invoice basically, which still sometimes they don't accept. I had one which I had to fight with them. The company was from Italy or somewhere like that. And maybe it's difficult for them to trace it down. But this company has been around since like 1996 as a massive wholesaler. And yet they kept saying it's not a valid supplier, and I'm like, if you're not going to take a wholesale, it's been around since 1996. Like, who are you taking? Like, I know it's not maybe quite as like in the UK. You go to a company's house, you can look at the deals, stuff like that. Maybe it's a bit more difficult stuff, but it's just crazy. Honestly, so it scares me. Eni sounds really good, but it scares the crap out of me. I don't think I'd order from there. It's not Eni. Eni are probably fine. It's Amazon. That's what you need to consider.
That's exactly what I said. I said, in my opinion, Eni is doing everything they can to be compliant with Amazon and follow the law. The guy knows what he's doing, and the company is growing and doing really well. That still doesn't mean it's risk-free, but it's only not risk-free because of Amazon enforcing their rules very weirdly. Sam Wright said, "Are you using any A-to-A bots?"
Yeah. I use a few Discord groups, basically. That's what I use for those. Yeah. So there's various ones out there. I don't know if I want to plug any online, but there's a few out there. You guys have got your own ones, right? I think
our software originally started when we were doing EU 8A. So I always claim on TikTok, I think we're the most experienced group when it comes to EU 8A because that's what we did for a solid year. We know all the annoyances with it, all the trickiness of it, and how to play the system. And we did very well from EU 8A. We did very well. And obviously, because we had EU 8A, we had 8A leads as well. We've never provided leads to the group. And that's because all of us have the opinion that lead service groups are one of the leading causes to people saying Amazon's saturated. That's our opinion because so many people rely on public leads that crash and then they say, oh, the model's dead. But yeah, as you just said, if you're in the right kind of groups, getting very niche leads, then it can work really well.
Go on. Yeah, go to the next question. It's all good.
No, it's okay. You go.
I was going to say I mean, it's always been the way with Amazon though, that it can be a 3-month hold. So as long as you accept that, then there's money to be made. Is that the most optimal way to do Amazon? Actually, from doing the mentoring, I've discovered no. The best way to do Amazon, in my opinion, especially if you're trying to grow, is get your stock in, churn it, and get the money back. So A2A doesn't always necessarily apply to that, but to get the most money, you do sometimes have to wait 2 or 3 months, sometimes a little bit more, but the money's still there. Is it the most optimal way? No.
Yeah, when I got coaching a long time ago from Sam, who runs our mentorship, when I got coaching from him, he was saying you need to get out of this headspace of getting as high ROI as you can, and you need to think of churning through your cash as quickly as you can, even if that means occasionally dropping your ROI with your repricer. Getting your cash in and out quickly helps you grow it a lot faster. And holding 100%. stock is super effective, but it is for people with larger capital, in my opinion.
It all depends. Do you have deals passing you by, and you don't have money to buy them because you're holding out for a couple extra quid on some other stock you've got in Amazon? If that's true, then you are better off taking a smaller profit on the Amazon stock, getting that money back and buying those deals. If it's the other way around, you've got loads of money and not enough deals, then fine, hold out, basically. It all depends.
And I would say in either scenario, it's always better to not buy than it is to buy shit. I learned that lesson the hard way.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't buy rubbish. It has to make sense. Yeah, don't feel forced to buy. Definitely.
Yeah, and if you're someone who's scaling with Amex or credit cards or whatever, you need to be really careful with A2A because, as Simon said, you've got to hold it for 3 months. Which obviously, if you've got a looming Amex bill and you've over leveraged, it's just so risky. So just be very careful with A2A if you utilize debt.
Yeah. 100%.
Okay, so sorry, who said this? So Sam Wright, brave using Quigita. I had some authenticity complaints from Quigita products and spoke to seller support, and they said they will never accept Quigita invoices, which is it's crazy because Quigita have a contact who works at Amazon, and they themselves said the invoices are fine, they're completely compliant. So it's so bizarre.
The problem is you can't, and again, this comes back to the whole bad customer support thing. You can literally ask the same question to like 10 people at Amazon and you get a different answer. You cannot. Go on.
Sorry, I was just going to say, do you want to know something really messed up?
Yeah, no, go on. Yeah.
It's the same with HMRC. You could ask the same question to multiple HMRC agents and you'll get completely different answers on taxation. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's not good. So, I mean, the thing is, I actually say to people, do not ask seller support. Because I know people have rung them up and said, about Quigita or whatever, and they just get absolute nonsense told to them. And actually what's been happening recently, I've seen it a few times now, where people have got auth claims and they've rung seller support and they just said, look, just accept the policy, accept the violation, and we'll fix it for you. And actually, to be fair, it did actually get fixed. But I just said to them, I would never accept that something was fake just because someone on the phone told me. No freaking way. Because you're basically admitting at that point that it's fake. However, the one person who did it, they actually did sort his account out, which is just crazy when you think about it. But it's almost like they know the system's broken, so they say just accept it because that's the way, and we'll just fix it on the back end. It's just nuts.
So it's like again, I'm such a positive dude, but my God, they do test you, don't they? They do test you.
No, yeah, they are. Crazy, isn't it? So yeah, it's nuts. But yeah, I never hide this, by the way, because I always say to people like Amazon, it's amazing, but they test you. They do test your limits. They really do.
No, I'm exactly the same. I would rather be the guy online who tells you the reality rather than sells you the dream, and then you get surprised and hate me for it. I'd rather say this is an amazing business model, but you're going to have to work and you're going to have thick skin.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, absolutely.
Shout Alex, Amazon accepts Quigita invoices. The problem is Amazon support who are too bored at work to check what you send. So actually, I agree with that. But I also think that they have KPIs. I think they have no time to actually review it properly. And I think they get negatively marked in their job if they approve an incorrect invoice. Again, Simon and I were talking about that last time. So the conspiracy is that it's just better for them to reject rather than actually do their job properly. Just
sit there, reject, because they're hitting their KPIs. They get a pat on the back because they've gone through like 100 applications in an hour and they've not technically made a mistake. So whereas if they say yes to something and they're wrong, they get in trouble. So yeah. think that's
I
what's
don't.
happening. So
That's speculation. Obviously, don't know if it's the reality, but
there
a
was
lot
a
of people.
Reddit post. There was a Reddit post put out there by someone who said they worked at Amazon and literally said they did that. Now, again, I don't know if that was a real post, but that's what happened basically, and that's related to ungating rather than authenticity.
Literally
But
everything ever on Reddit is always true. So
yeah, it hadn't. Yeah, it's Who knows? Who knows? But honestly, it rang true with me. I was like, yep.
It's so funny, isn't it, that Reddit is being used to develop LLMs as if everything spoken on Reddit is gospel. It's just so crazy.
Yeah. Scary.
ADFBA, how can an invoice be no good, but a receipt and a bank statement is okay for RA? Yeah, it's well, again, it's the place where you buy it from. So Quigita has an invoice, but there's still, because Quigita and these kind of third-party market, well, because of these wholesale distributors are such a new concept, Amazon is slow to adapt. Whereas a Tesco's receipt, Tesco's are getting their products from a legit place. So I think that's why. I think that's why a receipt would work and an invoice wouldn't. But that's where we need Amazon to catch up, because it's such a booming industry, and it will benefit Amazon massively and third-party sellers like you and I massively if we could just do this without any risk. The risk is coming from them not keeping up. And as you say, I'm trying so hard to get an Amazon contact. I'm not getting any responses when I reach out. It's crazy.
Yeah. So I think the problem with Amazon is there is a big issue they have, and actually, we were talking about this. I mentioned recently. Actually, someone was asking about like Amazon barcodes versus manufactured barcodes, and obviously, this comes down to commingling, which is a thing where essentially if you send some stock and I send some stock in the same stock, on the barcode, it gets mixed together. And then if someone buys the stock, it could be my one or your one they buy. Now, if you're sending in legitimate, let's say AirPods, for example, right? You send 10 real ones in, I send 10 fake ones in. All that stock gets mixed together. Someone buys it and they could just pick off random off the shelf and it could be a fake one that I've sent in, basically. You then get in trouble for that. Anyway, commingling's ending because there's loads of brands complaining about 31st of March this year ends. There's a big fake problem in Amazon. It's huge. I bought some Versace on a live stream, actually. I was like, someone sent it to me to review. I saw this Versace on there from a Chinese seller. I'm not saying all Chinese sellers sell fakes, but anyway, in this case, it was a zero feedback. I was like, I bet it's fake. And it was fake. There's a big fake problem going on. And I think it's just an overreaction from Amazon to all this problem. And what they're doing as well with all these fakes is so with Clinique, for example, they're just going scorched earth. They're just basically saying, well, we're just going to hard gate Clinique now because there's probably, fakes coming in. But the problem is that, again, I'm not saying it's from China, but it could be. They're just going to switch to another brand in like a week, and then they'll be doing another brand. And then that brand's going to get saturated with fakes. We've seen it with YouMove, Clinique, all these different brands they're clamping down on, really. So
I'm pretty comfortable being the guy saying that a lot of the fakes are coming from China.
Yeah,
it's pretty obvious they are.
Yeah. So, so that's what it is, and I think it's just an overreaction. And then, unfortunately, what's happening is like Quigita's getting caught in the crosshairs. Now, I'm not saying there's never been a problem with Quigita. I think there have in the past. But obviously, they're a newish company. They're definitely clamping down on it and making sure that everyone's valid. But at the same time, it could happen to any company. Things could sneak through. I got an auth claim recently for some wool hair clippers. The guy was adamant they were fake, and because he compared them to his old ones. Now, I don't know if they were fake, but what I do know is it was an Amazon deal, and I bought it from Amazon. Now, could someone have bought them and returned them to Amazon? They just put them straight back on the shelf. I don't know. And Amazon have sold me fakes. Who knows? Or maybe it's just that manufacturing quality is just getting worse now because they're trying to keep a price point. And then I don't know, basically. But I won that one quite easy within like 3 hours. Again, that's an easy one. It's an Amazon invoice. You send it to Amazon.
They're never going to reject their own stock, are they?
I have had it rejected before. I have. They asked for supply chain. Yeah. So supply chain.
You my guy, you are the supply chain.
Yeah, I know. I said, please give me your supply chain, please. Tell me where you're buying it from. It's probably brand direct, to be honest with you. But anyway, I can't remember what it's for, but I've had that before. Yeah. Again, it's because they're not reading it. They're just basically just going in. They've already got 10 seconds, 20 seconds to review it. Maybe it took too long to download or whatever happened, basically, and they just rejected it. But it got through eventually.
My favorite one is a guy on eBay. He sent me a message saying, I spoke to my bike mechanic and he told me this bike chain is absolutely a fake. There's no way it's real. And I sent eBay and him an invoice showing that I bought it direct from the manufacturer. And I'm a bit cheekier on eBay than I am with Amazon. So
Yeah.
I messaged him and I was like, you as in the letter U, what, W-O-T, mate with M-A, you what, mate? with a screenshot of the invoice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything, but
Everyone's
it's
an
just a
expert.
chancer, just a chancer.
Yeah, exactly. But obviously with Amazon, you never do that. You're like, oh, hello,
No.
madam, whatever. Like, thank you for your lovely message.
By the way,
rest assured, it's real.
Yeah, by the way, I've grown up since then. I would never do that. I was just feeling cheeky that day.
Yeah, because this is, especially when you get brand direct, it's all manufacturer direct. It's like, okay, fair enough. But yeah, it's weird, isn't it? But this is the downside of Amazon. It's a hassle, all this kind of stuff, and it's just, I think the problem is they just don't follow their own policies. The big issue I have is when people get auth claims and they keep submitting it. And unfortunately, what I say to people now is that it didn't used to be like this, like 2 years ago. But if you got an auth claim, you submit your information, it'll get approved pretty much every time. Now it's almost a bit like ungating. You have to keep trying. You have to keep going until they accept it. It's stupid.
Which is crazy because the system is going to cost them so much time and money by being so inefficient. So why would they bring that out of ungating and into auth claims? It's so crazy.
Yeah, crazy. And then you hear these crazy things about, just accept them, we'll fix it. Just not. And I've seen that multiple times now. There's one very recently in the past few days where the guy just said, it's actually a guy in Dubai, runs his business in Dubai, bought from a legitimate shop. I think the shop's even in one of the big malls in Dubai, and they won't take the invoice. And he actually spoke to them. They said, just accept it's fake, and then we'll fix it. Basically, it's literally in the past week.
Crazy. Built a graph said churn is king. That was in relation to us talking about churning through your cash. Yeah, 100% agree. Yeah, when you're in the beginning, you just got to churn through your cash, make profit, get your cash back, and reinvest. And I think Simon and I were talking about this last time. If you think about it, right, if you get a really good lead when you don't have a lot of cash and you're like, oh, if I hold on to this, I'm going to get an 80% ROI, and then you hold on to it for months. If you'd have just sold it at a lower price point for still a good return on investment, got your cash back, and then bought more stock, by the time those 4 months have gone by, you could have recycled that money 2 or 3 times, compounding each time. So you just got to,
exactly.
If you're not good at maths, which let's be real, most of us aren't, just use ChatGPT. ChatGPT can be really good with helping them with this stuff.
Yeah, churn is good. It's something I've learned recently, to be fair. So,
Laura Stewart, hey, just finished work. Welcome to the live, Laura. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for coming on.
Wee Laurie is amazing. Back under right names. Thank you for joining, Wee Laurie. Built a graph. I've been to Amazon and spoke to the employees. We're all very, very small niche on Amazon FBA's business. They do not even know what's happening with Amazon's back end. I believe that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Again, Amazon mainly is just like wholesale, brand direct. Brands on the, on there and stuff like that. What we do is very niche, to be fair. But at the same time, it's a big segment probably, but obviously for them, it's probably quite niche considering how much volume they do,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Amazon's interesting.
I know it's not just Amazon though, is it? Because there's all this stuff going around about TikTok having similar problems with their AI moderation and stuff like that.
Okay.
And yeah, so it's just tech companies. This is actually a really valuable lesson to anyone in here because I've tried loads of stuff. Most of the things I tried, I lost money. Amazon was always consistently a winner for me. And regardless of the business model you choose, you are always under the wing of a company that you can't control. So if you do Shopify, you're beholden to payment processors. If you do eBay, you're to eBay, Amazon to Amazon. Regardless of the niche or the model you do, there is always going to be headaches. That's why you have to have a thick skin.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter what you do because I'm thinking examples there. Like if, let's say for Shopify, let's say, you ditch Shopify and then you run your own online store, host on your own server. Well, where do you advertise to get customers? Google. Well, they can just change their AdSense. They could put the prices up. They could drop you down on the rankings. So there's always these risks. Trump could come along and put tariffs up on a country. Yeah. There's always challenges and risks in business. But yes, one downside of Amazon definitely is that you are playing in their like sandbox. Basically, they're the kings of the sandbox, of the playground. And if they want to kick you out, they can. That is a risk, which again is why, and it's a small risk, but it is a risk. It's why you always play by the rules. Basically, you've got to be 100% legit with everything you do, and that way, if you can ever have issues and you go to mediation, you've got all your ducks in a row, and you should be fine. I'm not saying it might be a hassle and stuff, but yeah, there's always risk in these businesses, I suppose. Like, it's just. Yeah.
I think I said before in an episode, but I have a friend who you mentioned Trump. When Trump was first elected and he started a trade war with China, one of my friends who had a really successful COVID PL brand, he lost £40,000 worth of stock because his Chinese supplier wouldn't send it because of the trade war. He just lost 40 grand. He just had to accept that all that money was gone. Crazy.
Sucks, doesn't it?
Snappy Fish, Built to Graph, crazy stuff. Gaz, FBA, evening fellas. Welcome to the live, mate. Good to see you. Thank you for joining.
Welcome. Thanks for coming on.
Built to Graph, they didn't know A to A was a thing. Spoke to them about account management, but it's expensive. Yeah, and there was also, I saw, I think it was Natalie Cromie was talking about really big sellers getting the option to get very, very expensive, like enhanced seller support. And I was really irritated by that notion, not at her, but at the idea that you had to pay an extraordinary amount of money to just get passable seller support. I was frustrated by that.
Yeah, I think we'd pay, if I remember correctly, I believe it's a percentage of revenue you have to pay for it. Remind me, but Craft, I think it is. I can't remember, but yeah, I think it's very expensive and it's a percentage of revenue because it's all about building up your Amazon, which it's fine if you're a brand or something, and maybe it makes sense from that point of view. But from our point of view, as on an arbitrage, retail arbitrage, whatever you do, basically, it just doesn't really make sense. Like I got a call today from them, like trying to promote Europe. They're always ringing me to say, "Have you thought about Europe?" I'm like, "Yes, I know about Europe. I'd rather you focus Europe." I don't say this, but like, sort out the freaking basics of Amazon before you start trying to push me into Europe. Like basic stuff like auth claims and ungating and stuff like that. But yes, I'm also aware of Europe. But it doesn't make sense in a lot of cases, in my opinion. For OA.
I had a conversation with Amazon about the exact same thing about doing EFN. And the woman said, why, she said very politely, why is it you've switched off the EU marketplaces? And I said very candidly, I used Amazon's own settings that say we're going to match your price point and your profits so that taxes and fees and shipping costs are taken into consideration and you make the same profit. I was operating at a profit for 4 months and my SDK figures were really good. It was going really well. I was making more sales in Europe than I was in the UK. And I noticed my finances looking a bit weird. So I looked into the reports and I noticed that Amazon was misreporting the fees and the shipping, and I was making a loss per sale. So instead of making £3.5, £4 profit per unit, I was making a £1.50 loss. And it took 4 months for me to catch it. My VA didn't tell me or notice it. This is why you have to be really hands-on. Not really hands-on, but it's why you have to pay attention to your numbers. And I lost money. And to be honest, I probably could have taken Amazon to small claims over that. But I accepted the L. I switched off the marketplaces. And now I tell everyone outside of the EU, if you're in the UK going to the EU, don't even bother. It's so much of a headache.
Yeah, you've got all this extended responsibility stuff. I did it basically. The only time I've done EFN is when I was doing sneakers. Now, the only reason I did that as well is because I essentially had an unlimited supply. So I was maximizing my UK sales, but I still had unlimited supply. I was buying from Sports Direct. So I was like, well, I may as well take the sales in Germany and France and stuff. And to be honest, the fees may have been wrong. I actually don't know. But I was making so much money on them. I am sure I made money on them. Making 30, 40 quid a pair. So even if it's off by like 20%, I'm doing all right, basically. But then you have all this this whole packaging thing with Germany. I think it's called EPR, Extended Producer Responsibility, something like that, where basically if you put a package into Germany, you have to pay for the recycling of that, whether it's cardboard or plastic or whatever it is. Basically, you've got that hassle. Obviously, you've got the tax issue as well. Although there's no taxes, no VAT unless you store the stock in that country. But yeah, returns are more expensive. It makes sense when you've got unlimited stock. That's where it makes sense. If you've just done A2A and you've got 12 hard drives, pretty much you may as well just sell them in the UK, unless it's vastly more profitable in Germany or whatever. If you've got an unlimited number of hard drives, do every sales channel you freaking can. eBay, Shopify, Germany, France, Italy, Dubai, whatever. Just try and get as many sales as possible. But for what we do, it doesn't really work.
The Germans, they love their recycling, don't they?
Yeah, so I think it's just gone to France now as well, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. But again, I don't really do EFN too much, so
No. No, I wouldn't do it again, even if they told me they fixed all the problems, just because I don't trust. Well, I would do it if I had a PL brand. I won't ever do it
yeah.
again with arbitrage.
Again,
Like,
thanks.
yeah, with PL it makes sense, and I get asked this question all the time, like how much do you spend on ads? But again, with arbitrage and 8A, you don't really need to do PPC. You just need to do your keeper analysis and buy the amount of stock you need based on the amount of sales you're estimated to get.
Yeah, I don't use any ads, to be fair. I know there's a strategy around it, but I don't use it. So I don't pay for anything on ads. But yeah, so
I used to, and we do teach it as a module to the people we work with, but you don't need to. And I actually switched mine off because the ad cost was increasing and the sales weren't coming in. So I was like, well, it's only a small amount anyway. May as well keep the cash in.
yeah, so it's interesting because I've heard actually advertising costs on Amazon are going through the roof and have gone through the roof. Like apparently pre-COVID was the time to do private label brands because you could basically get away with like advertising for peanuts. Now there's too much competition, or Amazon have realized, and the costs are just insane on advertising. I'm not saying you can't do private label, you definitely can, but it's maybe not the same game it was pre-COVID, you know.
So I've got a theory that I talk about on TikTok Live all the time. Amazon had the commanding market share, right? And they, like all of these big tech companies, Google, Meta, Amazon, they all have so much data on us. They know exactly what our margins are, and they know exactly how to increasingly take more of that margin. I think Amazon played their hand too heavily. They ate into people's margins too much. Advertising was making them loads more money, so they massively increased PPC, and because of that, people obviously pivoted and diversified their strategy by going on to TikTok, by going on to Vinted and everything.
Yeah, TikTok's massive.
It is massive, yeah. So like doing PL is way more risky and expensive now. Not that it doesn't work, it does, but that's why we say arbitrage and 8A is so good, because you don't have to worry about your margin being rinsed by advertising.
Yeah, it's interesting. They probably realize like they're still gonna, like, you might have had your whole cake pre-COVID. Now they're saying, well, you can only have a slice of the cake. But there are people who still do that. They'll still be willing to, even if you have to pay a ridiculous amount of advertising, there'll still be people who are like, I guess what they're trying to figure out is how many crumbs will you accept before you kind of give up, basically.
Yeah.
You know, essentially, well, how much can they keep? Yeah, but you still make money that you're going to bother doing it. And there'll be people out there who will literally do it for crumbs, nothing, basically. Yeah.
Tucker Carlson did a like a documentary video on Amazon and how it works, and they had data showing that if you have a PL brand, something like 60 to 70% of the revenue goes to Amazon. Like, yeah, I get that everything has fees, but that's pretty high. That's pretty excessive.
Yeah, but then you get access to the marketplace, the biggest marketplace in the world. So
yeah, true.
You know,
customer acquisition is very expensive.
Exactly. Yes. So, which is again why I like Amazon, because you get the easy part of the business, not the hard part, which always is, I think, customer acquisition. Any comments or anything or questions?
Yeah. But Built-to-Graph, they didn't know 8A was a thing. Spoke to them about account management, but it's very expensive. We were offered account management there. They said indirectly that your account is safe with them, but it's 10 to 14% revenue, so it's a huge chunk, and it comes off the bottom line. That is crazy expensive.
Yeah, you basically wouldn't make money.
That's almost cheeky, isn't it? Where are they getting the numbers from to think that that's a justifiable cost? That's crazy.
I mean, unless I'm just trying to think of, like, because obviously retail in general is relatively low margin. You know, whether you are doing our model where the margins are thinner, or you're doing where you produce your own things, but then you lose a lot. You probably spend more on advertising than you do on the cost of the good. Obviously depends what it is. Trying to think of like what could you sell that has like such high margins that you could afford that? Like at what category? Cocaine or something.
Oh man, yeah, cool. I don't even know. I was going to say something silly like supplements, but then supplements, your margin is completely eaten by advertising.
It's so competitive, very competitive. I know technically the cost of goods is ridiculously low and the sale price is really high, but yes, it's interesting. Like you see, like mattress companies like Emma and what they called, I can't remember. You know, the cost of a mattress isn't that high, and they sell them for like $1,000. But where do they spend all their money? They spend like £300-400 per customer on advertising. You know, so it costs them more to find a customer than it does to actually produce the item. So yeah. And if you end up finding this golden opportunity where you can make ridiculous money, it won't be golden for very long because everyone's going to find it, and it'll get saturated. So
Yeah, and when you're competing off Amazon's marketplace, like the competition off Amazon, like in Shopify and things like that, is so high. The second you find anything good, people with really big advertising budgets will jump on and replicate and put more money into it. And like Meta advertising, Google and everything is a bidding system. So whoever has the most money for ads wins. So it's
that's
very,
pretty much
very
every advertising, isn't it? It's all who pays the most, basically, per click, or per whatever, whatever it works.
Built to graph, I did the maths and it was huge. It's beneficial for wholesale and big PL as you benefit with brand growth and they help you tap into different markets. I do supplement PL and my net profit after PPC and fees is the same as my arbitrage business.
Yeah.
There you go. I suppose you don't have to deal with people jumping on the listings and crashing it, but still it's a lot more, in my opinion, it's a lot more risk. But built to graph, you obviously do very well. How long have you been selling for now, if you don't mind me asking? How about you? Remind me, when did you start selling now?
My very first sale was 6th of July 2022. So what are we on now? 3.5 years or something? I can't do the math in my head, but yeah.
I love the dopamine is so real from the first sale that you remember the exact date.
It was a hose lock timer. So, I remember exactly. Yeah. It was an 8 to 8.
In summertime. So yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know when I saw. Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah, sort of July somewhere. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't know what season it was, but I know from the date. But yeah, that was an 8 to 8, and I probably sold it too cheap. But yeah, that was a good. I probably made £8 profit on that, I think, or something. I could probably look at my SDK, to be honest with you, and literally go back and have a look to my very first sale. So look now.
Built to last has been doing PL for 3 years and arbitrage for 2.5. Fair play, very cool. I'm my main VA has 10 years private label experience, and she worked for a very successful UK seller who sold in the UK and the US, but the guy had some family issues, so he had to part ways. And I've been working with her for a long time, and the only reason I'm testing a PL product in Q1 is because she basically showed me his data very carefully. She was very respectful. She had a great relationship with the guy, so she wouldn't show me anything she was uncomfortable showing. But the only reason I'm testing it is because of her experience. I've always really liked 8A. I've always really liked the lack of risk with it. You're pretty set, aren't you? As long as you can read Keeper, you're pretty safe.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. You can return that thing. Well, I mean, with OA anyway, in general, you can return things. With A2A, you can, but don't do it on a business account. Yeah.
Built to Graft? I love that name, by the way. Built to Graft prefers arbitrage all day long. Yeah. So Sam, who runs our mentorship, he's testing his first PL product right now. And he was saying to the guys in our group, he was like, PL is so much of a headache in comparison to arbitrage. It takes so long, and there are so many hidden costs along the way, like getting certifications, proper photos, and everything like that. It's just such a long process in comparison to buying an existing brand, reselling, and then getting your profit back. You genuinely can start selling, get a product, list it as FBM, and sell it the same day with arbitrage. It's such a good opportunity.
It's the best model, especially for beginners. I always say, for beginners, there's no other model. You don't want to do wholesale. You don't want to do private label. You don't want to do brand direct when you're a beginner. Again, I don't want to say that they're not good models. They are. You can make a fortune off those models once you understand Amazon. But I think the first part is you've got to understand Amazon. I don't know where you actually get to, risk-free way of finding products, but then you get to actually sell on Amazon and get some experience with Amazon and see how shit they are, basically. We're just being demonetized now. That's very small, but going in and wholesale, because the amount of people come to me who are like, oh yeah, I'm brand new to Amazon, I'm going to do wholesale. I'm like, you're not even VAT registered, you're not a limited company, you oftentimes only have like a couple of grand, don't know about Amazon.
Sometimes they've been told they can do wholesale for 300 quid. That's what really annoys me. I hate that.
Yeah, it's just unfortunately, it's bad actors out there selling courses and stuff and saying, yeah, you can do wholesale. Exactly. And it seems, in theory, It's simple. Just go to a wholesaler, call them up, get a low price, buy it in bulk, sell it on Amazon, make a profit, and just rinse repeat, basically. Sounds simple, but we obviously know the reality of that's not true. And what ends up happening is people, if they could even buy something, they've misread the keeper chart, or they end up buying a product that's private label or IP or whatever, or hard gated, worst case, actually probably it's better hard gated, that way you don't get in trouble, because you can't even sell it, and then they're stuck with the stock and you have to either return it or you can't return it, and it's just a non-starter. It's just a non-starter. It's just silly. And again,
Sorry, you finish.
Well, as I say, it's like with brand direct as well. There's out there like people promote brand direct as a strategy, and again, there's nothing wrong with brand direct. It's a really good model. It's just a terrible model for beginners. I
liked your video on the tier list, because our community is closing in on 1,200 people. I now I message every new person that comes in, and I know way more people losing money with PL than making it. And I know very few people losing money with arbitrage. It does happen. The thing with arbitrage that people get carried away with is over leveraging Amex and Capital and Tap and then running into issues. Or like everyone's guilty of this. Sometimes you buy a product and you forget to check if you can actually list it first, and then you get a headache of realizing you can't. That's one of the annoyances with arbitrage, but that's on you, isn't it? It's on you to do your check.
It is. But you can, in theory, just return it. So, but yeah, it's interesting. Okay, I might have to start doing that, the whole messaging thing. I noticed actually a bit of an influx of spammers and stuff in my group, but I just try and jump on top of it. But
we don't have any spammers anymore, because we have a form as you come in, and I don't think spammers can be bothered. But yeah, it was that was the exact reason. We were just annoyed with smashing spammers every day.
Yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, so any other questions or anything from the community, the chat, or?
No, I think we're good, and we've hit an hour, and it's very late where you are. So yeah, I really appreciate your time. It's good to see you.
It's all good. I'm happy to carry on if you are. It's up to you, really. So, it's up to you, mate. I'm amazing.
Yeah. To be fair, I'm enjoying it.
If you want to go on from there, 10 minutes, 12 minutes, I'm all good. If you want, it's fine.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I was going to say something else, but I've forgotten what I was going to say now. But yeah, I can't. Maybe it'll come back to me in a minute. But yeah.
I do have a question. Someone asked us earlier if game collection invoices work to ungate, and that used to work for me last time I tried, but it was so long ago, it's outdated information. Has anyone from your community said if they work?
Game collection, not that I'm aware of, but let me check over Hero and have a look. Actually, I don't have it on this laptop. This could be a bugger. It should do. I don't see why not.
AD said, I have fun with Mogul spammers. Yeah. Anytime someone joins our community that I know is a spammer, I always drop Simon a message to let him know, hey, this person's in your community as well. Get them with a hammer.
I actually don't have it on over here, actually. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it will do. Again, with ungating, it doesn't happen first time. So I don't see why it'd be an issue, basically. I've ordered from there before. And I recall the invoices were fine.
I've been selling since 2023, right? I'm genuinely wondering, it's kind of like England winning the World Cup. I'm wondering if we're ever going to see it in my lifetime. I'm wondering if we're ever going to see the ungate process being fixed in our lifetime.
Apparently it was meant to be fixed, but yeah, I think it's getting better now. I think I've heard.
It's been getting better for sure, but it's still not perfect, is it? People still have to reapply 10 times.
Yeah. I mean, it was never. I mean, I remember my Nemesis brand back in the day was like 7 tries. But normally it'd take 1 or 2 goes. At this brand, I can't remember what brand it was now, but it took me 7 goes. I remember thinking, wow, that was like insane. Nowadays, that's like freaking normal. If anything, if bloody good actually, if you get 7 goes.
21, I think, was my record, and I just kept going, just kept reapplying 21 times. It finally got accepted.
Yeah. So. But it is a pain. I actually end up with this like ungating fear almost sometimes, where I'm just like, I just don't know if I can go through this, like, But also the other thing as well, it just hurts Amazon. I know they're trying to stop fakes and stuff like that, but I used to buy stuff and and then like, I'll ungate it afterwards, no problem. Now I will not do that. I will never say to people buy and ungate afterwards. I mean, on some brands you're probably okay, but nowadays, especially if you're ordering a lot of quantity, like through Kogita, for example, I will do it from on arbitrage. I won't do it from Kogita because obviously there's no returns. But I won't like buy a pallet of like Packer or whatever. Although I'll get whatever, and then I hope to ungate it because I did that with Michael Kors. I had $8,500 of Michael Kors sat in a warehouse for like a year because they just would not take the ungate. Basically, they wouldn't do it, and I tried so many ways. Different invoices from the Tino and other places like that, they just would not take it. So I feel like some brands are just like hard gated, but they're just not actually hard gated. So they're just not going to take it. I don't know, but yeah, it's a difficult one.
My worst was £1,000 on Hugo Boss that I bought from Notino, and they split the invoice into 2 invoices of 5, and Amazon just wouldn't accept that. And Sam and Reese kept telling me that they do accept those, you're just having bad luck. Well, I tried so many times, I ended up giving up and selling them break even pretty much on eBay.
Yeah, Hugo Boss is hard gated now, isn't it? So
yeah, it wasn't at the time, but it is now. Yeah,
it might be because of that. It might be saying like maybe the writing was on the wall with Hugo Boss. And it was going, I don't know, but in theory you can combine invoices. I've done it in the past. But yeah,
here's the question though: why don't Amazon say, when you try and add the ASIN, why don't they say, unless you are in this list of sellers, you can't sell this? Why don't Amazon tell you what is hard gated, what is okay? It's so insane that they don't tell you.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Well, the worst thing is when people get ungated, send the shipment in, and they regate them. Yeah. And the stock goes to stranded, and that happened to people in Q4, didn't it? It's crazy.
I never used to see that, and that happened to 2 people in our community, and they were obviously quite shaken up about it because they said, "Wow, this is really risky." And I was like, I can't even reject that statement because I've never seen that before, and I've just seen it twice in the same week.
Yeah, I use the word disgrace and Amazon in the same sentence multiple times in Q4 because that is a disgrace that you've let someone sell it. You said yes, you can sell it. They've gone out and bought it. You know, they may have bought 1 unit or 1,000 units or something for Q4, a very critical period. And then while it's been in and there's been a cost to send this thing into Amazon through labor and shipping and stuff, they've said, this is now hard gated again. And you need to go through the process again. Now, that's absolutely fine if it's just like a mere formality. They want to double check invoices and stuff, but you know they're not going to accept the invoices. You know you're not going to get engaged on it, and you basically you have to go to stranded, and then you're going to have to return it from Amazon at a cost of 60p, maybe £1 per unit, or more depending on how much it costs, and it's going to come back trashed as well because they always return your stuff trashed. Because they don't package it very well. So that stock is now almost like B grade stock. It's a disgrace. The way that Amazon return, I mean, you guys run a prep center, you must, I don't know if you deal with returns, but you know, if you do returns from Amazon, they want you to send stuff into Amazon in good, perfect condition. But when something's back to you, they'll literally just put it in the crappiest envelope or whatever, and it will come back just trash, basically, like squished and damaged and.
Well, the thing is, the reason Amazon is so trusted is because of their strong returns policy, but they put the returns on the third-party seller. And they, in my opinion, they incentivize scammers because, as you say, like the amount of times I've had products that have been returned very clearly, like a hose pipe very clearly used, or some gardening utensils that come back muddy, or a printer that's been sent back as a brick, and you have to fight to get your money back. It's crazy that they literally incentivize scamming people, scamming us.
Printers is an interesting one because people don't want printers anymore, but they maybe have to print something off or something, so they just buy a printer, use up the ink, and then just send it back. Maybe they've got like an essay to print off or something, and they just buy a printer, and then it's just so bad.
Go to the library, you uncultured swine.
Yeah, it's cheaper to do it on Amazon though, to be fair, but yeah, it's not good, to be fair. It sucks. It's the downside of Amazon. There's no and talking about returns, there's no good solution that I know really of dealing with returns right now, to be fair. So there are companies out there that deal with them, but then once you pay all the fees and stuff, you end up with pretty much very little.
ADFBA, I have fun with Mogul spammers. Hammered a fake Mogul for a whole day. Great fun. He thought I was getting thousands. That's hilarious.
Yeah. So I've had a few impersonators. They're still probably out there. They copy my face and all that kind of stuff. And
there's an Amazon coach who actually I won't say his name. We have an Amazon coach in our mentorship. Really, really lovely guy. And the first 2 times I messaged him, I didn't realize I was messaging fake accounts on TikTok. And I went through the list, and he had like 15 impersonators. I was like, damn.
I've not actually looked on TikTok. I'm just talking about Discord, but I've not even looked on social media. Actually, it's a bit scary. Actually, I might have a look and see on TikTok and
Yeah.
stuff, and see if there's any fake FBA moguls out there scamming people.
You gotta have the blue tick. Unfortunately, it's a necessary evil now because you don't
Yeah,
want someone to get scammed under your name, even though it's not your
yeah.
fault.
No, it's true. I do have it on Twitter, but I don't know. Is that on TikTok as well and stuff? I don't know. But yeah, I have to look into that and see.
Meta has it. Meta and I'm guessing TikTok has it. I can't remember. Snappy Fish.
Yeah.
Imagine working for printer support team. Yeah. Oh, I've got a funny story about that actually. I used to work for Microsoft in Microsoft 365 tech support, and my partner. That's where I met my partner. She worked for a company where the entire company of high-skilled, sysadmins could not figure out why their HP printer wasn't working. And they ended up spending an insane amount of money on a day rate for a printer expert to come in. 4 printer experts, in fact, 4 different printer experts couldn't figure it out. And finally, they found out that the credit card on their HP file had expired and HP had remotely disabled the printer.
Ah, it's interesting.
What the hell, though?
Crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
crazy.
that's
It's so
interesting.
cheeky, isn't it? Because a printer is something you physically own, and yet they're switching it off just because your credit card's expired.
Yeah, I guess because there's a lot of like ink subscriptions and things like that. Very interesting. But yeah, that's very interesting because I guess everyone was wondering about the hardware, the replacing boards, and yeah, interesting. That's crazy. Network issues. That's
Yeah,
nuts.
nuts. All right.
Cool. All right.
Have yourself a
Awesome.
little day there. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
it was really good chatting to you, mate. Thank you for jumping on. Very always fun talking to you, even if it always starts politically.
Yeah, it does seem to actually, doesn't it? But it's because we're so passionate about it. That's why.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So,
thank you everyone who joined, and to everyone who watches this retroactively, thank you very much. Be sure to check out Mogul's free community and check out ours if you haven't joined yet already. Simon, thank you very much for joining.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, pleasure talking to you, and thanks to everyone who came on and asked questions or just listened, and anyone in the future who listens to this as well. Thanks for coming on. Awesome.
Cool. All right, guys, have a good evening.
Thanks, guys. Bye.